Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome once again to the Ridiculously Lame Wrestling Show. My name is Tony Squares. As always, I'm joined by my good friend, Mr. Robert Lentini. He's been covering this industry for over a decade, now a writer for Sportskeeda, and today we're talking about the world of WWE and AEW. We have a pay-per-view, a premium live event for WWE that we're going to be breaking down, and also the 5-year anniversary of AEW Dynamite, which is, we're going to have a little fun discussion with what that means to the both of us, and especially looking forward on the next potential 5 years of AEW. But first, let's talk about the world of WWE. Bob, we have SmackDown coming up just in a few moments here. What do you expect out of this SmackDown episode? We have a couple of matches on the card. What are we looking for this week on SmackDown? What stands out to you the most?
Well, as we established last week, it's a go-home show. It's the last show before Bad Blood.
Anything can happen.
Anything can happen, and it's all the WWE's going to try anything. So you make sure you to tune in tomorrow night on SmackDown. But yeah, I'm expecting a great tag team ladder match. So start off with that. We have a triple threat tag team ladder match. The Bloodlines, Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa against DIY, who's Gargano and Ciampa, and the Street Profits. I do not envision them taking the titles off the Bloodline. I feel like they're so committed to the Bloodline and everything they do on SmackDown that they won't do it. But I would love to see the Street Profits just win this match out of nowhere. Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford have just been wasting away. They were in that failed faction with Bobby Lashley, who's now in AEW. So like that, they've just done nothing with the Street Profits. I would love to see them get a surprise win, but I guarantee you the Bloodline's winning that triple threat match. That's the biggest match of the night. Yeah.
Well, if that's the biggest match of the night and that it's that obvious of a finish, then you haven't sold me yet to tune in. And especially when you said that you kind of worked both sides of the coin here when you said it's going to be a great ladder match, and then you said Tonga Loa will be in it. So I'm not too thrilled with what's about to happen here, but I do believe the Bloodline should keep the titles because they have to keep building that faction up.
Yeah, I think Tonga Loa might have a tremendous botch that will stand the test of time in this match as well. So great is
very true.
All purpose. It doesn't have to be a great match. It just could be a great moment, which could be a Tonga Loa botch, which I'm looking forward to.
Now, talk to me about the dumpster.
Oh, okay. This is Mia Yim Minchin is someone who is an okay wrestler. I don't have nothing bad to say about her, nothing great to say about her. She's just there. Chelsea Green, I think, is phenomenal. I think I don't know about her as a wrestler, but she's a phenomenal entertainer. So this dumpster, this dumpster match between Chelsea Green and Minchin, I have no idea how this is going to go. I'm assuming Chelsea Green's going to lose somehow and get just trash all over in the dumpster, but we'll see. But I'm looking forward to it. I can't remember the last time there was a dumpster match. I know I saw one live, I said last week, like when I was a 10 in the Garden. So I'm excited about it, but it'll probably be stupid as hell, but I'm looking forward to it. How about you?
I wouldn't say looking forward to it. I would say I can't wait to catch the finish because Chelsea's going in that dumpster.
Absolutely.
It just makes too much sense. Chelsea's going in that dumpster, and I'm very excited to see the viral moments that happen after that because, again, you're absolutely right. She is an excellent character and deserves all the accolades that are given to her. There is another women's match on this card, though, that interests me a touch more.
Yeah, it's Naomi versus Tiffany Stratton. Naomi lost to Bayley last week, failed to earn the WWE Women's title match against Nia Jax at Bad Blood. So it's Bayley versus Nia Jax again. But this match should be fine. But I feel like Tiffany Stratton, I'm going to circle back to this in my headline. At the end of the show, I actually have a headline. I thought of one. So, but this match, I think Tiffany Stratton's going to win, but I'll add to it in my headline later in the show if you want to stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen.
Leave it a cliffhanger for the folks here. Leave it a cliffhanger out there, and I'll finish with the biggest thing that would get me to tune into SmackDown. It is the return of one of my favorite superstars in either promotion right now.
Yeah, AJ Styles is back. I don't think he's had a match since May on television. In the meantime, on the WWE road, on the live events, he's lost to Cody Rhodes 15 straight times. So if you're one of the people who got to see that, congratulations. But I'm glad he's back. I understand. I actually like the idea of giving these veterans like a few months away, and then coming back, and it feels fresh. I love it. I like that. So, but I'm excited to see what they do with Styles. He's not going to go after the undisputed WWE Championship, maybe reignite his rivalry with LA Knight, but we've already seen that too. So I'm kind of interested to see what they have planned for him, but he's finally coming back tomorrow night in Nashville.
Can I tell you what I think is going to happen?
Sure.
I think it's going to be one last run for AJ Styles at whatever belt it may be. They'll build up to a final pay-per-view match amongst the many contenders that you listed right there. But we had rumor the past few weeks that AJ Styles' contract is coming up.
Yeah.
And my little AEW brain started tickling. And I truly think that this man's going to live out his contract with WWE. He's made a lot of money for him and his family. He's reaching a very old age. And yes, they are giving him time off, but they still have all those road
Yeah,
shows
yeah.
that he's going to go and do. AEW is a very lax promotion when it comes to all that stuff. And I keep seeing, we have for the past year, Styles Clash after Styles Clash after Styles Clash. And we are reigniting feuds from the past in hopes for AEW to rise up those rating boards, hope to get those wrestling fans that remember Ricochet versus Will Ospreay in the past and say, I'm going to buy in because of this. If you bring AJ Styles into that sandpit, man, it is a very exciting run for that man. And so that's what I'm expecting. I'm expecting AJ Styles to have a final 3-4 month run here, maybe through Royal Rumble, however long his contract is, if it is WrestleMania, if it isn't. And then he's moving on over in 2025 to the other brand in AEW. That's maybe I'm hoping for that too
No,
much, but that's what I'm predicting.
I like that thought. He's older, he's got a family, one day a week. Why not? Let's lighten the schedule even more. Like you said, he's he has a break from television. He's been on the road this entire time. So he's just,
Yeah.
I wouldn't blame him. I mean, if he stays, he's going to be, never going to be champion again and be in the WWE Hall of Fame in 10 years, which doesn't really exist. It's just a website. So go to AEW, make some more money for yourself, buddy. I would do it.
And that is it for the SmackDown preview, Friday night SmackDown. It's time to talk about something more interesting.
Yeah, sure.
Because there is a premium live event this weekend, Bob, and
Yeah.
I am excited for this. Another 5-match premium live event. The NXT TakeOver formula is continuing to work for WWE. They have a couple of matches that could be on this card that are happening on free TV, but instead we're going with the 5-match card. So we are here to give you not only 5-match predictions, not only 5-match winners, but 5 bold predictions. Headliney, clickbaity headline it is.
Yeah.
5 bold predictions for Bloodline. Bob, first off, we know what ends this pay-per-view. It's been announced already. We know it should end this pay-per-view, and it's not ending this pay-per-view. So let's save those 2 matches for later. Let's instead start out for the WWE Women's Championship, Nia Jax versus Bayley. Bob, first thing, I don't know if I could ever make a bold prediction for a match I could not care less about.
Yeah, this match I do not care about. I can't tease it to my headline twice. I forgot that we had to talk about this match. Fuck it. Tiffany Stratton's cashing in and winning this title. That's my headline too. But I'll come up with something else. That's my prediction for this match. I don't care about Nia Jax walking out as champion. I don't care about Bayley walking out as champion. Tiffany Stratton, she's going to win on SmackDown against Naomi, or she's going to lose because Nia Jax is ringside, and there's going to be some bad blood, if you will, between Jax and Stratton, and she's going to betray her and cash in. I'll come up with another headline in the next 20 minutes.
I'm a big fan of that,
Yeah.
though. That's a great bold prediction. Tiffany Stratton cash in. It is high time. I am over the Nia Jax title reign. Let's have Tiffany Stratton come in there and take it from her. I would be all for that, my friend. It would reinvigorate that title to me. And I think Tiffany Stratton could have a lot of fun matches, a lot of fun feuds once she gets past the Nia Jax version of this. And I'm excited for it. I hope your bold prediction becomes correct. Let's go to the next match. It's Damian Priest versus Finn Balor. Talk about bad blood.
Yeah.
The Judgment Day coming to a head here. Is this the final payoff, Bob, or are we still going to be ring around the rosy as we continue down the Judgment Day storyline?
I got to be honest with you. Like, this started off hot, but I'm getting ready to move on too. Like, we getting a little like soap opera-ish, way too slow pace with some of these storylines. It took forever for us to find out why Finn Balor betrayed Damian Priest. It took forever. So
where's the hotel room key card?
I don't
Bob?
know. Apparently he was responsible in urging Dominic Mysterio to leave Rhea Ripley for Liv Morgan, but also stealing hotel room key cards. We never got that explanation, but I'm still interested.
We never will.
Yeah, we never will. But just whatever. Just plant that seed in our brains and just never pay it off. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. It's not like we did 10 videos about it or anything. But anyways, yeah, I think Damian Priest is going to get this win. But unless Finn Balor comes to the ring as the demon. If he comes to the ring as the demon, that's my bold prediction. Finn Balor's coming to the ring as the demon and winning this match. I just changed my whole prediction right there. Finn Balor wins this match as the demon. That's the only thing I can
I
think
would
of.
love to see
Yeah,
that. That is a character that has sort of, just disappeared off the face of the earth, and Finn Balor as the Demon was a spectacle.
yeah,
It was something that really fit the WWE mold, like, how these guys can sort of turn supernatural and become godlike figures at times. The Demon was a part of that, and yeah, if Finn Balor came out of the as the Demon, I would truly appreciate it too.
yeah.
But my bold prediction for this match is that it does not stop the feud, and neither does the next match in this Judgment Day soap opera world. Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley for the Women's World Championship with your boy Dom Mysterio in the shark cage above the ring. Bob, your prayers have been answered.
Yeah, I can't wait for this. I can't wait for this. My bold prediction, it's not a bold prediction. It's obviously happening. Dominic Mysterio is getting out of that shark cage during this match. I have no idea how it's going to happen. Someone's throwing him a key. I can't wait to see who throws him the key. Maybe the room key pays off with Balor this time. He throws him the shark cage key. Maybe it was a little symbolism with the hotel room key, and he's going to throw him the shark cage key during this match. But yeah, Dom's getting involved. But I have to believe that Rhea Ripley's winning the title back here. If not, then they're extending this feud again, like you just hinted at. Oh God, I mean, I love Rhea Ripley, I love Liv Morgan, I love everybody involved, but I'm ready for new things to happen, or at least a change. If they're going to continue the feud, have a title change and continue it after a title change. But it's Dom's getting out of the cage somehow and helping Liv Morgan win. That's my prediction.
My bold prediction, because I don't know who they're going to have win this match. My prediction, like you, would be Rhea Ripley,
Yeah,
and again, but we're not ending the feud here, so I guess Liv Morgan would retain. My prediction is Dominic Mysterio takes the biggest bump of the night, even with Hell in a
yeah.
Cell, even with
Oh
everything
wow.
happening with Cody Rhodes. I think Dominic Mysterio takes a Shane McMahon-esque bump this evening, and Rhea Ripley is the cause of it, or maybe Liv Morgan is the cause of it. I don't know.
That would be awesome.
I think Dominic Mysterio is there. It's going to be a rough night for the man,
Yeah.
and it's going to come. I do believe he gets out of the cage, or maybe he takes the bump with the cage falling. I don't know how they rig everything here, but I think Dominic Mysterio takes the biggest bump of the night, and it's a comeuppance for everything that has happened to him. And if Liv retains the title, that moral victory of getting Dom through whatever they can build for him to go through is the victory that Rhea Ripley gets in this match.
Yeah.
So those three are sort of the hors d'oeuvres of this, because we really have two main events that are very, very juicy. And Bob, we're going to start out with the one that's going to be the main event of the pay-per-view, and I again don't believe it should be. It is Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns tag teaming together after some excellent promos, some excellent video work, absolute cinema that we saw out of these two, facing off with Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu. I'm really excited to see this. I don't believe it should be the main event, but we believe it's the main event because of our bold prediction.
Yeah, and also PW Insider said it's going to be the main event on their so that's where I got that news, and it is, because I think my bold prediction on this is the Bloodline is going to win this match because of The Rock. The Rock is going to return. It's the final moments. They're going to end the final moments with the final boss. It makes sense. If The Rock's coming back, you end the show with The Rock. I understand it. But yeah, I think he's going to cost Roman Reigns, and it's October, November. We're getting already towards WrestleMania season with WWE's pace. They're gonna have The Rock attack Roman Reigns, and we're not gonna follow up onto it until Christmas. So that's what I think is gonna happen here. But I think The Rock returns at Bad Blood in Atlanta and destroys Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes and helps the Bloodline win.
Is this I shouldn't say that because he's not defending the title here, but will Cody defend the title from now until the Royal Rumble?
Yeah, I think he's going to defend. They already hinted at it on the Pat McAfee show. Thank you. That's a good. Thank you for bringing that up. He said there's going to be a video package on Bad Blood that has title implications for Crown Jewel. So whatever the hell that means, that's what he said. I'm guessing he's facing Roman
Oh,
Reigns somehow
God.
at Crown
I
Jewel.
forgot about Crown
Oh
Jewel.
yeah, you have to have the big Saudi match. Maybe the Rock versus Cody at Saudi would make sense. Really,
God damn it.
it's
God damn
the
it.
glorified house show galore. Crown Jewel,
God damn it.
no title changes like ever happened at Crown Jewel. Can't
You're
wait.
so right.
Yeah. So
You're so right. Oh, man. You're so right. You're absolutely right. But I like your bold prediction of The Rock coming back. And if they burn that match at Crown Jewel, Jesus Christ. Let's move on, though, to another match that could happen at Crown Jewel. We don't know. But it is Hell in a Cell. What should be the final
this
battle
is it. This is
in
it.
the almost year-long feud
Yeah.
between Drew McIntyre and CM Punk. Bob, A lot of things can happen here.
Yeah.
I am excited to see this match, even though I don't really enjoy cage matches. I don't really enjoy Hell in a Cell type matches because we've seen the best.
Yeah.
Like, you cannot top some of the stuff that's already been done. And even if people try to top it, the people that could try to top it are not in this match. Like, CM
Yeah.
Punk's not going to take a fall from the top of Hell in a Cell. Neither should Drew McIntyre. I think it's going to be a very slow, gritty, it's a traditional old school wrestling
Yeah.
match here in Hell in a Cell. I do believe they deserve Hell in a Cell. This
Yeah.
should be the Hell in a Cell match. Don't get me wrong. And I am still excited to see it. I am more excited to see that this feud is over and
Yeah.
these guys can move on to greener pastures. Bob, do you have a bold prediction for this one?
No, I mean, I think it will be the match of the night, but that's just, I think Punk's going to win too. But I don't know how they get there. Maybe they both pass out and Punk falls on top of McIntyre, something like that. It's going to be some poetic finish. It's not, that's how Punk does things, I'm sure. But he said on an interview that it's going to be, he wants it to be a classic match, whatever that means. So I think you're right. Old school, like he wants the match to need the cell, not the cell to need the match. He wants to incorporate that. That's what he said. So we'll see. I think it's going to be slow. I think they're going to utilize the cage. Punk's just going to beat him down with whatever, and we'll see how it goes. A lot of blood, but that's why I thought this would go on last, because if there's going to be a lot of blood, that means the canvas is going to be all red the whole rest of the night. But it is bad blood, so I guess it makes sense. But Punk wins, and I think it's going to be the match of the night.
I don't know about match of the night, but
Yeah.
I do think I am very excited for it, and I am intrigued to see who comes away on top, because I want Drew McIntyre to win this feud in the long run. I think he's been the man carrying this whole
Yeah.
thing, so why not have him move forward? I think he could. I think CM Punk can afford the loss, and
Yeah.
if you want to make Drew McIntyre the star that you signed him to be, have him go over here on Old Phil.
Absolutely.
But I am excited to see it, man. I am excited to see it. And I don't know if I have a bold prediction for it, because
Yeah.
is this where AJ returns? Is this where something comes out and happens that's crazy? Is this where, do we see what, like, I don't know if you could tie in another person into here to screw up the finish, and that's how we, further their storyline or whatever, but I hope it ends.
Yeah.
That's my bold prediction.
I don't want
This
anybody
storyline
involved.
ends
I don't want
tonight.
anybody else
Yeah.
involved in this match. I don't want any interference. Just let them settle this thing and let's move on. Let's not,
Yeah. On a
yeah.
scale of 0 to Bruce Pritchard, how excited are you to watch WWE at Bad Blood?
Well, I'm not excited about Bruce Pritchard at all, so 0. I don't
No,
understand.
Bruce Pritchard level of
Oh,
enthusiasm and
okay.
excitement for the
Okay.
WWE product.
Misunderstood
Yeah.
the question. Yeah, I'm very Bruce Pritchard.
That is it for the Bad Blood preview. 5 bold predictions.
Yeah.
Bob, let's move on now. After Bad Blood happens, we do have Monday Night Raw. Not too much advertised for it, but there is one match we want to talk about in the breakdown here, and also a new format for Raw. And let's start right there. It's 2 hours, my friend.
Yeah, they're starting before they go to Netflix. This Monday's episode of Raw will be 2 hours with commercials. So we're going to see a lot less filler matches, and I'm all for it. Just keep it moving. I think it's going to be a great change. It's long overdue. I'm scared that they're going to have SmackDown go to 3 hours to compensate. We'll see what happens. They probably will, because it's a USA Network thing. They want that ad revenue. It's business. Yeah. But I'm excited because Raw doesn't need to be 3 hours. No wrestling show needs to be really over 3 hours, even a pay-per-view. I don't care how many damn good wrestling matches you have. At 3 hours, I'm done. So like you know what I mean? Like
See, I'm with pay-per-views, man. I am a 4. I know it's going to be 4 hours. I
Yeah.
am locked in for 4 hours.
Well, just
that's my magic number with pay-per-views. It's a 4-hour epic, and regular TV should be 2, not 2 in an overrun. Tony Khan, 2 hours.
Yeah.
That's what I think it should be.
Yeah, but I'm excited about it, and not on Bad Blood. On next Monday night's Raw, Gunther will be defending his World Heavyweight Championship against Sami Zayn. Zayn's been trying to get this match for months. Gunther finally accepted it last week after Zayn just said, "You're afraid of me. I'm the only person to beat you. You're afraid of me. You're a coward." And Gunther snapped and finally accepted it. So that's the build for this match. It's a match we've already seen, but they have Bad Blood. I feel like that would fit perfectly on the premium live event, but I'm excited. It'll be a good wrestling match, but it's one of those matches where how excited can you be when you know who's winning? There's not even a doubt. There's no way Sami Zayn's winning the World Heavyweight Championship. I would be shocked. I don't know I don't know how I'd react if they took the title off Gunther this soon. But yeah, Sami Zayn versus Gunther, and I'm just predicting Gunther's going to win. But I'm excited to see it. I just wish it was on the pay-per-view. It would feel more important.
What? I mean, this isn't going to happen because every time we predict it to happen, it doesn't happen. That's because it's a special moment and it's something that once you replicate it, you can't replicate it for another 17 years. But if I saw this Gunther and Sami Zayn match, even though we're selling it as the big match here, I really want to see Gunther pull a Brock Lesnar on John Cena on Sami Zayn here and
That
absolutely
would be great.
murder the man.
That would be great.
Um,
Because Sami Zayn
because
is,
Gunther to
yeah,
me,
go ahead.
that's the rocket ship,
Yeah.
and Sami Zayn is fine, but Gunther to me is the rocket ship, man. And if you want to make this title reign matter to make him as scary as possible, the ring general, as we call
Yeah.
him, just have him absolutely murder somebody.
You're so
But
right.
that's what I would want to see. But I do think Gunther wins.
Yeah, you're so right. I just sorry to interrupt, but Sami Zayn's also like one of the it's just an incredible seller. He makes you think he's gonna die every time he gets hit with the move. He's a great at it. He can make Gunther look like the biggest star in the industry on Monday if that were the case. And they did that. The Brock Lesnar John Cena match. I like that idea a lot.
Because we've already, as you said, Sami Zayn's beaten Braun Breaker. He's beaten Gunther.
Yeah.
Like, what more can we have him do? You know what I mean? Like, how much bigger can we build Sami Zayn? A guy that I don't believe can beat Gunther or Braun Breaker, even though I've seen it with my own eyes.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So, I don't know. Speaking of Braun Breaker, though, before we move on from Raw, I do want to talk about Braun. He essentially turned babyface when he came up to Jay and gave him a handshake after beating Jay. And to me, we were going to talk about this turn in another part on the show, but to me, this means something because Braun Breaker is when you look at him, he's a natural heel, okay? And he's an absolute athletic, just unbelievable figure in the wrestling ring and will be the next star of WWE. I am so excited to see this sort of babyface turn by him because even though it doesn't fit him right away, the best wrestlers play both, and that's how they have the longevity in their career. Every single wrestler has had a babyface and a heel run, unless you're Roman Reigns until just recently. But Braun Breaker, if we can see him as a babyface on the good guy's side, I'm really excited to see the next level of this kid's career. He's so young.
Yeah.
It's just the beginning for him. We have seen him as far as we can go right now with this athletic heel. You know, he's too exciting to not make a babyface. The merch that you could sell with these guys, I think WWE sees him and sees dollar signs. And so I thought this was a really pivotal moment in Braun Breaker's wrestling persona that we are now seeing the other side of him, and I hope it continues. Did that seek any excitement out of you, or did you sort of see it as he's babyface now?
Well, my whole issue with it was like we talked about, Braun Breaker lost to Sami Zayn and then finally won the Intercontinental Championship at SummerSlam, and now he's already lost it.
And we wanted to see that forever. Yeah, we wanted to see him have that title forever.
I wanted him to have like a Gunther reign. I wanted to do the same formula with Braun Breaker that they're doing now. I wanted them to do that with Gunther. I wanted to do it with Braun Breaker. I stumble all over my words. My apologies. But yeah, Braun Breaker, I agree with you on the marketing thing. I never really even thought of it from that angle, but you're right, because he is very exciting. The crowd wants to bark. You could already see Jey Uso in that promo getting the crowd barking for Breaker. He likes to, so yeah, you're right. There's tons of potential for him to be a huge baby face or a huge heel. I just thought the whole Intercontinental Championship reign was just rushed and weird. And once again, they didn't have that title match at a pay-per-view. And it was a big match.
I get that.
So it just felt like but they felt rushed. I feel like they changed their mind about what they want to do with Braun Breaker during this title reign. So that's what I get out of this. And now he's a babyface, and he's got to be a star. Whatever, they can't ruin him. That he's one guy that his talent is just undeniable. So we'll see where it goes.
That's why I think this matters. This babyface turn matters because I truly think this is like a sign that we believe in this guy. Because listen, he's not the same wrestler, but we saw Baron Corbin for a long time go as far as he could as a heel.
Yeah.
And then he just kept on moving down the pecking order because they never did anything with the character. And now he's done a million different things in between, but he reached his peak and came back down. We saw it with Rusev, reached his peak and came back down, even though people were clamoring for Rusev Day, clamoring for him to turn babyface. It never happened. But now that we see Braun Breaker reach his peak as this level of a heel, could he be a bigger heel? Of course. But right now we've it's all about, riding to the mountaintop. We've seen him reach the top of that peak, and now is the time that they switch him to babyface. I think it's only going to extend him further upward and keep him at the top of the card with new people to face off with. I don't know in a wrestling match how you make that guy be the babyface and take all the heat until he builds up a comeback. But hey, smarter wrestling bookers than me have built him before. So I'm excited to see it, man. I truly think this is a huge sign of faith in his career in WWE, and I'm excited to see the future of it. But that is it for the Monday Night Raw breakdown. And now, Bob, it's time to talk about AEW because we had the 5-year anniversary of Dynamite or AEW as a company. It was so confusing. Either way, they had fives everywhere, and actually a really nice shirt that Brian Danielson was wearing with
Yeah.
the 5 on and all the faces on there. I really liked that. And we had a pretty fun Dynamite. It went a half hour over on the overrun. We had 2 matches that we burned early. Did not
Yeah.
really build a lot to the Okada match in particular, and we can talk about the individual stuff that happened on Dynamite and how we're building towards Wrestle Dream. Next week, we're going to talk all about Wrestle Dream and preview that show. But instead, we wanted to take this moment right now to sort of recap or go over the last 5 years, take a bird's eye view of the last 5 years of AEW and pinpoint the 5 best moments or biggest moments from AEW, the 5 most memorable things that happened in the 5 years of Tony Khan's wrestling promotion. And then at the end, we're going to talk about the next 5 years with this new TV deal that came in place. But Bob, the ball is in your court. If you had one moment to pick, my friend, what tops the top 5 moments of AEW's tenure?
Well,
And don't you dare say the brawl for Paul with CM Punk and Jack Perry.
oh no! I mean, if it was a top moment, that would be a low light. That would be one of the worst moments. CM Punk's debut is on my list of top 5. Like that was for me personally, that was one of my favorite. But I really liked the Danielson and Omega Iron Man match. I can't remember exactly. I think it was at Grand Slam. 30 minutes, the bell rang, the crowd popped right when the bell rang, the crowd went insane. That is one of my favorite moments. And there's still, for all the negative shit, the stuff, excuse me, all the negative stuff we say about AEW, I say about AEW, they still have Bryan Danielson and Kenny Omega on that roster. They have so many stars. If they could just get out of this cloud, which they will eventually, they got the new deal. But that Danielson Omega match just showed, and it was a wonderful Iron Man match too. I think it was a draw, 30-minute time limit draw, I believe, but it just flew by. I loved every second of it, and I will always remember them ringing the bell, the crowd going insane, and JR go, "Let's get it on!" Just screaming into the microphone. It was just an epic moment. But yeah,
no, it truly was.
yeah.
It brings a smile to my face. That's one of those. I mean, they've had so many great matches in that promotion because they have so many great wrestlers, but that one in particular stands a head and shoulders above the rest. I'm right there with you. And speaking of getting out of that fog, man, I was thinking as I was watching this past Dynamite, and I'll take the next memorable moment number 2 here. But I was thinking about how Kenny Omega, he's been social online more, talking about matches and stuff like that. It seems to me that he is close to returning. And as well, we heard that Adam Cole is supposedly cleared to return and on the way to return. And then right after that, we should be getting Adam Copeland back whenever that 50-year-old man can heal those legs that he broke jumping off of the cage. But just those 3 names alone, AEW has somehow survived that absolute valley of all of these guys getting injured at the same time. MJF was off, just all these huge names that were not able to wrestle for them. And now we're seemingly at the end of that when all these guys can finally come back. And oh my goodness, this roster could absolutely shoot to the moon once more, like we all expected it to do, as long as, hand up, everyone stays healthy. But my number 2 moment has to do with the man you just mentioned and the man I just mentioned, the double debut at the end of the pay-per-view with Adam Cole coming out first with an excellent new song and a surprise at the time because he was just on NXT or Raw or whatever he was doing for WWE at the time. Like he had just wrapped up something with them, and it wasn't the 90-day non-compete that we had to wait through. It was Adam Cole was in AEW. Oh my God, he's right there.
Yeah.
And then he turns and they start attacking Jungle Boy Jack Perry, and who comes out to make the save? Bryan Danielson himself, right? When Kenny Omega does his line, pointing to the camera, bid you adieu, whatever he says, that music hits and the place went absolutely ape shit. That was the number 1 highlight of AEW to me from all 5 years. Like if you're looking at the absolute peak of their powers, that was it right there. It seemed like literally anything could happen on that television show when those 2 guys came out at the same time. So yeah, that was special for me, man. That's number 2.
Yeah, and that just piggybacking off that, I think that was all like CM Punk versus Darby Allin that night. So it was CM Punk's first match in 7 years. I think that was all out 2021. If I have it wrong, whatever. But I think that was CM Punk's first match, and then Danielson and Cole at the end of the night. I could be wrong, but that was like when that all happened. That was peak AEW for me. That little period there, I thought they were going to take over WWE. I was fully in. I'm like, this is it. This is the company I've been waiting for my whole life. And then it all went to hell. But
what's number 3 for you, Bob?
I'll get it out of the way now. I'll get the CM Punk debut out of the way because that moment I'd still go back and watch it. If you're a CM Punk fan, you still go back and watch it. I think it's better than his Survivor Series return. Everybody loves that Survivor Series video. His original comeback, the grown man crying in the crowd, that whole thing, just
That grown man was you, Bob.
yeah,
That grown man was you sitting at home.
yeah, it was me. I was just, oh yeah, sitting at home. Yeah, I was wailing. You kidding? I was weeping. I wasn't a single tear. It was just fountains of tears all around me. I was crying, naked, and everything. But it was, but yeah, it was. That moment was something I was waiting for a long time, and they did it right too. They didn't announce it. The Darby Allin, like, even if you think you're the best in the world, sold out the United Center on a rumor. I just thought everything was up from there, man. I just going. That was it. But that was probably my favorite AEW. One of my favorite wrestling moments, just because how much of a fan of CM Punk I am from growing up. And yeah, I really, that return, that pop is one of the biggest pops I've ever heard in my life.
Number 4 for me, and I agree with you completely on the CM Punk thing. That was truly special for them. But number 4 for me, this is a match that they hinted to last night on Dynamite. And when I look back on it, no matter all the great matches that they've had, this one, for some reason, I keep thinking about it. It keeps sticking out to me. And it involves two wrestlers that you would never expect to be on this list. But I truly thought that the lights out cage match between Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa
Oh, wow.
was one of the greatest matches in AEW's history. I thought it was, from start to finish, a feud that mattered, a women's division that needed it, champions that were awesome. Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker they were all in that match. And I was seeing stuff that I never expected to see on television before, because at that time, WWE was still very, very clean, very, very, didn't do that stuff, even with their great wrestlers that they had. And to show that on the match, even though I have hesitations with the whole lights out gimmick, like, if it's a lights out match, don't have entrances. But anyway, that's just me. I still think that match was effing awesome, and those two gave it their all. And if you have if we were trading tapes back in the day and there was the best AEW matches over the last 5 years, that match needs to be on there. And because it stuck out that much to me, I know that wasn't on your list.
No, it wasn't, but it is. I agree. That was a really good match. That didn't even pop in my mind. I should have thought of that. I haven't thought about Thunder Rosa in so long. I don't know what happened. Yeah, she was great. But another match you probably wouldn't expect me to have is Hangman Page.
Oh yeah, this is number 5, Bob.
Yeah, number 5 for me is Hangman Page and Kenny Omega versus the Young Bucks at AEW Revolution. Yeah. That tag team match. I don't like anybody involved in the match, but like, you don't like CM Punk, but I can respect the talent. And that was a hell of a match. That was one of the best matches AEW has ever put on, in my opinion. Yeah. And I love that I think that was Hangman with his, I don't remember. That was with the beer character. I think that I love that original character of Hangman. Some people didn't like it. Thought it was like too much. It's like, is he an alcoholic? No, it isn't. It's fun. Stop making everything ridiculous.
It's wrestling.
Yeah, exactly. It's wrestling. Have you seen Darby Allin? Have you seen what they do on the show? This was that was one of my favorite matches in AEW history. I think it's the best Young Bucks match they've had in the company, and it's one of the top 2 or 3 matches they've ever had. So that I would put that up there as one of the best moments. And I thought, well, again, was a glimpse of what the tag team division could be. And then, but yeah, that's my number 5. Do you have any more you want to get on?
I think that's a good way to round out the 5. I will add an honorable mention, and if you have an honorable mention as well, we can talk about it. But an honorable mention to me is the memorial episode for Brody Lee. After he left us far too soon, and they threw on. I mean, you watch that and it brings like legitimate tears to your eyes. The entire 2 hours of matches with his son, his wife out there. It was truly a special moment. And also at a time where I don't even remember if there was a full crowd in there, because we were just coming out of COVID and everything was happening with that.
It was at Daly's place.
It was definitely in Jacksonville, and it was just all in all a very special, poignant 2 hours of television, and really a highlight of AEW's. I mean, Tony Khan needs to be celebrated for that night and what he pulled together that quickly that evening. So the Brody Lee Memorial Show. Do you have any other honorable mentions?
I'm sure there's a million of them. The first All In that got it all started. There's a lot that happened. The first Dynamite. I remember the first Dynamite match, Cody Rhodes versus Sammy Guevara. I thought it was a great match. Like, it was a lot of moments. Sammy Guevara. I thought was going to be a big star, but if you go back through it, there's a ton of excellent matches that have happened in this company. There's just a few scandals that have taken away from it.
that have scarred it. But
Yeah.
let's talk about the future of this company, because news came out this week that they just signed a new deal, however long it is, 6 years or whatever, but it's a TV deal with HBO as well as the Warner Brothers companies in total. So they'll be staying on TBS and TNT and doing discounted rates for It's very confusing what the actual deal is, but it's good news for AEW because they have whatever is rumored from 150 to 185 million a year for this company and for everything that they do. Now, does that make them profitable? I do not know, but it is still a sign of success for this
Yeah.
company, a sign of success that someone's willing to put in almost over a is it over? Either way, it's close to $1 billion
A lot of money.
of money into a company just for television rights alone, and
Yeah.
whether it's pay-per-views included as well. It's a lot of money for the secondary wrestling promotion in the United States. It's something that TNA would never get. It's something that
Absolutely.
ROH, when they were alone, would never get. Like, all of these companies have tried to do this and have failed. AEW has done it now for what seems to be the second upping of a TV deal with the brand
Yeah.
that they've been partnered with from the jump. It's a huge deal, Bob.
Yeah, it is. Absolutely, it is. And with the biggest thing with the library being on Max, that's huge. Just so we can go back and watch some of these matches and some of these dynamites, but mainly just the pay-per-views. Like, the fact that we can't, you have to illegally find means to go watch them again is ridiculous. So it's about time.
On Bleacher Report,
Yeah.
which is now non-existent.
Right. Yeah, exactly. It's just crazy, but I'm glad that they have this. I think the pay-per-view thing is that Warner didn't want to pay extra. Like, they could have got the pay-per-views included, so it's just going to be at a discounted rate. We'll see what it is on HBO Max. If it's $20 per show, fine. If you go 30, 40, call that a discount rate, I have a problem. Like, because I'm already paying HBO Max.
Well, HBO has a payment, as well. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But I'm excited for this.
But either way,
They
I
needed.
will say this. I mean, YouTube's been great for streaming the pay-per-view since
Yeah,
they joined YouTube, but
absolutely.
Bleacher Report was a fucking disaster.
Oh, yeah.
So now that
terrible.
we have it all on Max, that makes life a hell of a lot easier.
Yeah,
presumably.
I just hope that eventually it's just included in the Max, like the Peacock, but they're much smaller. They can't afford that. They need to
they need to make money.
I understand it, but I'll be willing to pay $25 for a pay-per-view with 30 tops. But if you
I'll also be willing to watch live streaming on Max and not have to wait for the 8 p.m. showing because I'm in the West Coast.
Oh,
You know what I mean? Like, like I can watch it actually on time and be a part of. Like, it's a lot of good things have happened from this, and of course, there's money in the pockets. There's coin in the coffer, and I'm very happy for that from an AEW side. But Bob, real quickly before we leave, we've had 5 years of AEW. Give me a prediction over the next 5 years. Where is AEW at in 2029?
Oh, Jesus. Oh man, it could go drastically bad or like amazing. Which one do I think is more likely? I think they're going to be roughly in the same spot, a little bigger. I think they're just going to be firmly number 2, but not. I don't mean that in a bad way, because WWE it's ridiculous to try to compete with them now. I think that if they just focus on themselves, I'm talking to Tony Khan directly. If you just focus on your company and nothing else, you have all the talent you need to provide a great wrestling show. So they should be fine. If they get in their own way again, we'll be talking about it on here. So that's my prediction, is that it's either going to be where they should be or off a cliff. And that off a cliff is and I know that is a distinct possibility. So we'll see what happens. But I'm hoping for the best for them. Go on, sorry.
My prediction is, while I don't believe the tribalism is going anywhere in the internet wrestling community, I do believe WWE is on such an upswing right now that eventually it'll come on a downswing. That's how these levels go. But for right now, it's an upswing. Don't know if this upswing is going to last the next 5 years, but my God, over the last year, it's been fantastic.
Yeah.
And to me, a rising tide raises all dinghies. Not to call AEW a dinghy, but wrestling is becoming cool again.
Yeah.
And interest in wrestling is peaking across all demographics. And as that rises, people start to seek out other forms of it. And so if you come in for WWE and you get entertained by The Rock and all that other stuff, that guy you just saw in WWE will now go to AEW in 3 years. Not The Rock, but someone. You know what I mean? Like, if you create a wrestling fan, they are going to seek out more forms of wrestling. Fuck, I've watched the XFL and the AFL and all those other awful NFL brands because I'm such a huge fan of football. It didn't keep my interest, but I gave it a chance.
What was that guy's name?
People are going to give AEW a chance, and it's a good enough product to keep fans going.
Yeah.
Of course, not the best product, and we'll talk about that here, but I do believe AEW will keep rising. I don't know if they will rise, but I don't think they're going anywhere anytime fast. And that's not something I could necessarily say a year ago.
Yeah.
I do have faith that this company has seen peaks and valleys and has survived a lot. And I think it's strong enough to continue. And if they're finally making money or not losing as much money as they have been, then there's no reason for Khan to stop chasing this dragon. So yeah, I'm in, man. I'm in. I've always been in, and I think we're going to be here in 5 years.
I just would say, just like get rid of people like Miro. If they're asking for the release, like just let him go. Like you could never make anything work with him. Like if he doesn't like creative, you got to get people. There's enough wrestlers that will work for you who will be excited to work for you in this business. Like this, like,
and I think there's enough like Lexus King that will go to the other promotion and do absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
That people will want to stay in AEW as well, because not
I hear
everyone
you.
could be a star.
Right.
If
Yeah.
Daniel Garcia goes to WWE, good luck, man. Like
terrible
you're not going to be in the main event match against MJF at WWE. You're not. If MJF goes to WWE, he's headlining WrestleMania. There's a difference in breed no matter who you are.
Right,
So
exactly.
I think that evens out. So I think people will still want to leave either company. I think we'll still have shocking appearances in either company. But I also think now that we have time attached to it, people will see like, maybe this is the best I can do at both promotions and keep going with said promotion. So I'm excited for it. I'm very excited for the future of wrestling. It's a good thing that AEW is around. But that is it for talking about the 5 years of AEW. Now we have to move on to the gimmicks of the week, my friend Bob. This is when we talk about the things that happen in the world of wrestling that weren't necessarily big enough to have their own topic, but are big enough to shout out on the show. First off, we have the debut of the week. Mr. Shelton Benjamin is back, Bob.
Yeah, congratulations to Sheldon Benjamin. He's with MVP, and Bobby Lashley's apparently on the way too. So the Hurt Syndicate, I believe, is what they're going to be called. Like this is what we just talked about. WWE doesn't want these guys anymore. It's great AEW exists because they get a chance to reinvent themselves or try the same thing again and see if it works in AEW. But I'm excited for Sheldon Benjamin, who Shawn Michaels once said is a guaranteed WWE Hall of Famer, makes his debut in AEW. So great prediction by the Heartbreak Kid there.
Speaking of a WWE future Hall of Famer, probably should be in the Hall of Fame now. It is Mr. CM Punk winning Social Superstar of the Week. Bob, you have said before we should let the past stay in the past, and yet CM Punk keeps referencing it, and you're loving it.
Yeah, I'm talking about on television. If you're gonna, yeah, it's a pretty big difference to me, but I guess not to you. But yeah, Social Superstar CM Punk on social media, not on WWE Raw this week, not on their flagship show, on social media referenced AEW, saying, "I'm old, I'm tired, and I work with fucking children." There's infamous All Out 2022 thing. I thought it was funny. I think it's funny how people still get upset about it, or people still laugh about it like me. I'm talking about AEW needs to move on because he's not coming back. That's my whole point. If you're going to keep referencing him, you're going to remind everyone like me, who's scarred by it, that he's not coming back. And the AEW is not going to be the perfect little wrestling company that I wanted it to be. But anyways, yeah, that was a Social Superstar. I just thought it was funny how it took the internet by storm for like 2 hours, like it always does. It's just, he has that thing, that connection. You either love him or hate him, but people just will talk about him right away. So that's why he gets a Social Superstar.
The return of the week happened at the Monsters Mayhem match, whatever you call it, last Monsters Standing. We knew that the ring was breaking. We knew that we were going to get shenanigans afoot, and shenanigans happened. But the return of the week was Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
And well, you talk about it, Bob, but I was kind of confused that I understand he was gone because of blah, blah, blah. But I mean, Seth Rollins is back. Okay.
Well, I mean, he's probably going to be wrestling the CM Punk in the main event. We'll see what happens. But yeah, he's a huge star. He was on the Sun. He was a
huge star.
Yeah, he is. You don't think he is? Oh,
no, huge star.
Yeah, he was on Sunday Night Football the night before. He was thrown over the barricade at the Colts game by T.Y. Hilton. So he's been making appearances leading up to this. But yeah, he appeared. He hasn't been seen since August 5th, since he was destroyed by Bronson Reed. So he's been out for a little bit. So over a month and a half, almost 2 months off WWE television, probably nursing that injury that we talked about. Like, why is he special guest refereeing at SummerSlam? It's because he has an injury, I thought. So, yeah, he came back, hit Bronson Reed with a stomp. I'm sure they're going to finish that rivalry up. But Bronson Reed feels like they're just like going to push him. And now he's just, yeah, all right, see you later. He's not beating Seth Rollins. If I were booking it, I would have Bronson Reed beat Seth Rollins. But I was just excited to see Rollins back. And let's mention Jay White.
He's back.
Jay White too. Honorable mention. He returned on Dynamite.
He did return. He returned to face off with Hangman Adam Page. But the Big Show turn of the week. This is a gimmick that we haven't had in a while, Bob. This is when a babyface turns heel turns babyface, and in the long run, it doesn't matter because they don't matter on television. And we have The Miz turning on R-Truth. I did not even know that The Miz and R-Truth were still together, and yet they are. Not anymore, though.
Yeah, I didn't know they were still together either because R-Truth was off television, much like Seth Rollins. We could have given R-Truth the return of the week. R-Truth was off television for 2 months due to an attack by Bronson Reed, and then just returns as The Miz's partner. And The Miz is just exclusively a heel. Whenever you try to make this guy a babyface, it really doesn't work. I'm sure he's a nice guy, but he looks like an asshole.
He actually is a really nice guy.
Yeah.
I've met him in person.
Wow.
He's actually like a legitimately nice guy.
That's cool. That's cool to hear.
Also, the biggest hand, like I'm a large human. I'm 6'1", relatively well built. I gave that man a handshake. He engulfed my hand. Just good guy though.
Yeah, he's extremely talented. Like I've always liked The Miz as a heel, but when you make him a babyface, it takes everything away from him. He's not his sarcastic, heelish jackassery is what makes him great. So I'm glad he turned heel again, but it's just comical because they were hinting at it for weeks. It's like, we all know you're turning The Miz heel, and who gives a shit? It's R-Truth. But yeah, I'm glad he's a heel again. Finally.
I will say, now that I'm just thinking about it, talking about The Miz interaction that I had. It was at an event I was bartending. It was a special event. I think Kanye was performing or something. And he comes up like, and I'm just like, yeah, what do you need? Vodka soda? Like I'm just in a mode where it's rifling through the line, and then suddenly The Miz is there, and I'm like, oh shit, The Miz, what's up, dude? And he saw me light up, and he started, playing back and forth, and he wanted 3 beers, and he caught them all in one hand after I opened them.
Wow.
Three beer bottles all in his hand. I think they were for his friends, but who knows? Maybe they were just for him. And then his wife was there, Maurice was there next to him, and she was all dolled up, and she wanted a martini. And it was not the type of bar that made martinis. Like this was like a very, build it and wreck it at the end of the night bar. We're giving out cans and all this other shit. But I have the makings of a martini, but I had to go, find the olives that were buried in the box, find the olive juice. And I could just tell Maurice, I'm sure she's a nice lady. The face she was giving me as I was making her what had to be the worst martini she's ever had in her entire life. And I gave it my all. I know how to make a good martini, but the ingredients were not around me at the time. The face she was making at me kind of ruined the whole experience. Like it went from on a high with The Miz, and then I went like, I think I failed this whole experiment.
Oh my
God.
God.
She did have one of my martinis, Bob.
I would have had me. I would have had like the panic attack of all panic attacks if I was in that situation. She said martini, I would have been like, and like sweat. There's just been a disaster of that. Like I was terrible at the food service industry. Anything with pressure other than writing, I crumble. So I would not have been able to handle that. You did better than me. I would have just been like, we don't have martinis. I'm sorry. Just start crying, run away, and quit. But yeah, that's a great story.
The last thing we want to talk about to end it on not to end it on a somber note, but
Jesus.
this is it. But it is the get well soon of the week. We had a bunch of injuries this week, Bob. Sammy Guevara left what I believe was ROH tapings on a backboard. There's rumors that he had a concussion. Again, I don't know what's been confirmed out there, but Sammy Guevara's dealt with that type of stuff before. You wish the best for that guy because we both have a lot of faith in him and want to see him succeed, but that would suck if he dealt with another one of those. Braun Strowman apparently tore his groin during the last Monster Standing match. Killswitch Luchasaurus, you're going to have to explain to me what went wrong with him, and then we saw Dragunov tore his knee up and is going to be gone for a long, long time. But what happened with Killswitch?
Yeah, he was hospitalized with double pneumonia. So like
crazy.
That's, I don't want to that's scary as hell.
That is scary.
Yeah. So
it's not just a knee injury. Like knee injury is tough, but you can survive and figure it all out.
Yeah.
Like being hospitalized for a legit lung disease is fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
Dude.
So get well soon. Don't come back before you need to at all. Take your time like that. But just so many, like a crazy, just spate of injuries in the past few days. Just Dragunov is 6 to 9 months with a torn ACL. That's devastating for that guy. Like he hasn't established himself yet on the main roster. He kind of has, but he can't. You can't miss. Hopefully he can recover, but this is like that impacts your career because you're out of sight, out of mind for a year. we'll see what happens when Dragunov returns, but that's a huge blow to his career, I think. So, well, hopefully he gets back and is healthy because he's one of the best wrestlers in the business. It's just sad, but yeah. Kill Switch, Sammy, Strowman, and Dragunov all have injuries or sicknesses. Get well soon. Sorry to hear about all that stuff.
Yeah. Get well soon indeed. But that is it for the gimmicks of the week. We now end the show like we do every week with the headlines of the week, where me and Bob predict the future of wrestling. What will WWE and AEW fans be talking about at this point next week? Bob, you're up first.
Well, I was gonna do Tiffany Stratton's walking out of WWE Bad Blood as the WWE Women's Champion, but I'm just gonna send a message to Triple H and Lee Fitting here. And my headline is: it's okay to have more than 5 matches on a premium live event. Okay, it's okay to do it. You want to put your names up as executive producers at the credits of every show. It's okay to have more than 5 matches. You don't need a 30-minute filler like we're going to get at Bad Blood. We know there's going to be some kind of stupid waste of time that we're going to all have to sit through.
No, there'll be a Slim Jim commercial.
Yeah, exactly.
John Cena will come back.
It's not really
talk to the crowd.
It's not really a headline. My headline is Tiffany Stratton's winning the title this weekend, but we've talked about it, so that's it. Just you can have more than 5 matches at Bad Blood or any premium live event you want. You can work it out.
My big and bold headline is, for AEW, while we will have peaks and we will have valleys, the last 5 years of AEW television will be the worst 5 years of AEW television. I'm excited for the future. I'm excited for wrestling. I'm excited to be a wrestling fan, but that's it for today's show. And now we check in, as we do every week, with This Week in Ryback.